All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So there has been a development in this Wonderboy story that I am going to have to do a video on because I don't know what to do with this, dude. I got to be honest. Like, I had Wonderboy's back throughout this entire thing. You know, if you don't want to fight, don't fight, dude. If you don't want to fight, don't fight. Pereira missed weight. I think you're making a good decision not fighting him if you think that that's an advantage for him. Because, and we went through all of the reasons, which I will recap on why he didn't want to fight Pereira. And then he put out a statement the next day, which mirrored exactly what I said. So one of two things happened. Either he saw my video and they were like, this is perfect, or I just completely nailed it. Either way, one of those two things was accurate. I knew what they were thinking, or they saw my video, and because it's literally point for point exactly what I said in my first video. So we were obviously of one mind, right? We were thinking the exact same things here. And then this story came out about him not getting paid. And I was like, this is an unacceptable development, dude. Like, this is like, it just seems wrong. It just seems wrong. And I'll tell you another thing about that actually in this video. I'll tell you a really important thing about that particular saga and in terms of him getting paid or not paid. And then something came out just like today. And I'm like, wait, what? How? Make this make sense, please. You know, like, make this make sense. You know? Now, when I say that, there is one way to make it make sense, but simultaneously, I mean, I don't know, man. You guys, you know what? Actually, this is one of those times where I'm going to lay out my my thoughts, and I want you guys to tell me what you think in the comments, because I'm serious. Like, I actually, as I just was talking about this and I kind of went through both sides, I'm like, you know what? Actually, there is an argument for doing this. Maybe. So I'll tell you exactly what I was thinking when I started this video, and then I'll tell you what my train of thought is now, and then we'll go from there. So that is what we're going to do. I don't mind if you don't mind subscribing to the channel. That would be amazing if you haven't done that yet. You know, don't feel obligated, but I would do it for you if I watched your videos. I promise I would, dude. And I appreciate everybody commenting, even if you talk trash. It's good for the algorithm. If you guys don't mind liking the video, juice the algorithm. All you got to do is click like. That would be amazing. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. Okay, here is exactly what I'm talking about. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson responds to Kamaru, and he's like, yo, I would love to fight Kamaru Usman, and let's do it at Madison Square Garden. Well, Jesse, what do you mean? What's wrong with that? Well, I'll tell you exactly what. I mean, maybe nothing. Maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but I'm going to share my thoughts with you. So Pereira misses weight. Okay, he misses weight by 4 pounds. And the reason why Stephen Thompson decided not to fight on a card that he had already prepared for, he'd already done the camp, he'd already weighed in, he had made weight, everything is ready to go, is because his opponent missed weight by 4 pounds. Now, he's going to get paid. He's going to get 35% of his opponent's, 25% or 35%, whatever, of his opponent's purse also to fight. Okay? And he's like, nah, dude, I'm not going to fight under those circumstances. The guy is going to be at an advantage. I can't take a loss. You know, exactly what I said in the video is exactly what he said. I said, I'm 40 years old. I can't take a loss. So, oh, by the way, I may have forgotten to notate this, but at the end of this video, after we talk about this, we're going to talk about a statement that Michael Chandler put out that makes me think he might be feeling the heat on this Conor and Gaethje thing. He put out a statement where I'm like, whoa, dude. This might be sketchier than we think as it relates to Conor really might be looking to fight Gaethje. Talk about it in a second. But anyway, so when I did the video on Stephen Thompson, right, I said he's 40 years old, okay? I had heard the argument that like, dude, he's 40. He needs to take this fight. He doesn't have that much time. And I said, yo, he's 40 years old. He's only got one shot at this. He can't lose. If he wants to try to get a title shot, he cannot lose. He cannot afford to lose. This guy's 4 pounds over. There's no reason for him to take a fight where he is fighting at a severe disadvantage. Bottom line, dude, why would he do it? Why? You know, he cannot lose. The fact that he's 40 is the reason he shouldn't take it if he doesn't feel like he should. Okay, so that was what I said, and that was exactly what he said in his statement. Okay, cool. So then this whole thing happens with the you know, the pay. Is the UFC going to pay him? Whatever. Now, someone with extremely well-informed information shared the following with me. He said that if the fight happened in a certain state that he was very well versed in the laws about, that 100% the UFC would owe Stephen Thompson his full his full show money. That it doesn't matter. Bottom line, legally, he would be owed that money, period. And he said he thinks it is highly likely that Stephen Thompson is probably owed his full show money, and he doesn't know. He just doesn't know. He literally does not know that. And I said, well, I guess that demonstrates, just the fact that that's even a possibility, which it seems totally possible, that he doesn't know, just says a lot about just the overarching, like, agents, managers of these fighters. Like, and that I have no idea who Stephen Thompson's manager is, and I have no idea whether or not they knew whether or not he was legally owed that money. But I'm just saying that, like, it's not an impossible thing, just like broadly, right? There are certain managers, and I've talked about them a million times on this channel, that are excellent, excellent managers. If it was Francis, I can absolutely guarantee you that Markel would know legally whether or not he was owed that money. If it was Ali Abdelaziz, of course they would know whether they were legally owed that money. But there are lots of other managers, and there are also certain managers that manage like 200 guys. And I've always kind of been a little shaky about that, where I'm like, that's too many guys to manage. There's no way that you can be doing a good job for them. How is that even possible? How could you possibly be doing a good job for 200 guys? You know? I mean, nothing against them. That's like, they've got like a great hustle going. But how could you possibly be doing a good job for them? But bottom line is, like, the fact that there's even a possibility that a fighter would not realize that a payment that would potentially represent 1/3 to 1/2 of their annual money could legally be owed to them, and they wouldn't know. The fact that that's even a possibility, which is totally reasonable, just shows that, like, would that ever happen in Major League Baseball? Would that ever happen in NFL? Would that ever happen in any of these other sports? It would never happen, dude. Never. That would never happen. Their representation would always know whether they were legally owed that money. It just is what it is. So anyway, that was that. Now, what am I talking about today? Like, why am I bringing up this, this thing with Kamaru? Dude, simple. Okay, simple answer. Okay, we talked about what? Like, why did he not want to take the Pereira fight? Because he didn't want to lose. He's like, I can't lose, right? So this is what when I started this video, that was my position. I'm like, hang on, you walked out on an Alex Pereira fight? I'm sorry, Michel Pereira. Jesus. A Michel Pereira fight. My bad. Oh, God, here we go. Here we go. Hey, guys, fill up the comments. I'm sure there will be 1,000 comments. This is what I'm talking about, dude. I will bet you guys, when you get to this part of the video, anyone who, is actually, actually watching the video, I guarantee you that if you look in the comments, there will be like 100 people. They're all, he wasn't fighting Alex Pereira. He's fighting Michel Pereira, dude. As opposed to like, oh, well, obviously Jesse knows he was fighting Michel Pereira. He just misspoke and said Alex because Alex Pereira was on the exact same card, and he's been saying Alex Pereira 1,000 times. And so he said Alex Pereira instead of saying Michel Pereira because he was obviously fighting Michel Pereira, What? Go look. I guarantee you will be shocked by how many people have commented that. Now, if they ended up watching this long, they'll go delete it because they don't want to be, they don't want to be the moron that like gets called out. So maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but it is what it is. Anyway, so he walked out on a Michel Pereira fight because he didn't want to lose. And they're all right, well, that makes sense. You don't want to fight a guy with an advantage. So who do you want to fight instead? He's all Kamaru Usman. You're all, wait, hold on. You're saying you have one last run at the title and you don't want to lose. That's right. And so you want to fight Kamaru Usman? Yes. Okay, but Wonderboy, you're like one of the best strikers in the history of the sport. I know that. I am. Like, you're incredible on your feet. Kevin Holland is an incredible striker, and you made him look like it was his second day in the gym. Yes, I did. Right. But you lost 2 fights prior to that. I did. To Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns. Yep. And how did those go exactly? Well, they took me down, and I had a really hard time dealing with those takedowns. Right. So if you were going to compare Kamaru Usman's takedown, ground and pound, wrestling control to those other 2 guys, what do you think? Oh, definitely, probably significantly better. I mean, equal or definitely probably better. You're all right. So you didn't want Pereira, who's like a wild man, who's very similar to Kevin Holland on the feet, except probably not as good. You would have beat him up, but just because he had 4 pounds, you didn't take the fight, which I was down for. I completely defended. But you did that, and now in favor of Kamaru Usman? It's 1,000 times worse matchup. Everyone's like, Kamaru Usman's washed, dude. I love this conversation. I love it. Kamaru Usman is washed, bro. Really? Based on what? Dude, his knees are shot. Okay. Yeah, man, he never runs. Okay. You can tell, man, his body is finished. Based on what? Less than a year ago, he beat the living shit out of the current champion, completely demoralized him, and then got caught with a head kick. And then lost a razor-thin decision in London where he didn't get hurt or anything. It was just kind of, Leon did a really good job in that fight, but neither guy really got hurt. And what about that? I mean, Leon Edwards is a champion, and he lost a razor-thin decision to him. I don't understand. I don't understand how people see it. They're like, yeah, so he's washed. No, he's not. He's clearly not washed. There is no indication he's washed at all, dude. You want to know what washed looks like? It looks like Tyron Woodley, okay, getting smashed for 5 straight rounds by Kamaru Usman, then fighting Colby and losing 5 straight rounds to Colby, and then fighting this guy and getting 5 straight rounds, and then fighting this guy and then getting knocked out in the first round. Okay, that's what washed looks like. Losing a razor-thin decision to the champion, that's not washed, dude. So, again, I'm not saying that this is the correct answer. So this is the other side of this conversation. The other side, and this is where I'm saying I would love to hear you guys' thoughts, is he said he wants a title shot. He wants to be the champion. He needs to be able to beat anyone. And if he beats Kamaru Usman, now he really is in the title picture. If he beats Kamaru Usman, he really is in the title picture. He'd have to win another one. He wouldn't get an immediate title shot, but he really is right there in the mix. So maybe he takes a shot and he goes and gets it. I just think it's such a terrible matchup that, what do you guys think, dude? What do you guys think? Tell me what you think. I'm very curious. Now, here is what I wanted to talk about before I sign off really quick. Michael Chandler put this out on his channel, okay? I think Justin Gaethje is the UFC lightweight champion by the first quarter of next year. I think he beats Islam. I think he beats Oliveira. He already had the cardio, the speed, the power. He's got the great wrestling and defense. He already had all the attributes, but now him honing in those skills, it's going to be tough for one of those dudes to beat him. He just said that, apparently. This is per Reddit. He just said that. I'm rooting for Gaethje. Let me just make that perfectly clear. I want Gaethje. I would love to see Gaethje go all the way. I would love to see him win the title. I would love to see all of those things. I would love to see him defend. I would love to see him get a Conor fight, red panty night, all that. I would love to see Chandler do the same thing. But does that seem like an honest take to you? He already lost to Oliveira. I'm not saying he couldn't get it back, but he lost Oliveira very recently. Islam Makhachev is a really bad matchup for him. So the only way I can read that is maybe Chandler's feeling the heat, dude. Maybe he really is kind of shit, man, I really don't want Gaethje to get this Conor fight. And he's tripping out a little bit. He's I think he's going to win the title. Come on, man, don't take this Conor fight. Don't do it. Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I would lose respect for Conor if he didn't fight Chandler, personally. But at the same time, I understand wanting to get the BMF belt too. I take that back. I retract that, actually. I retract that. I only say that because I like Chandler so much, dude. I really genuinely think Chandler's a really good person and a really good dude, and I think it would be super fucked up to not fight him. I think it would just be fucked up. But at the same time, fight business is ruthless, man. It is a ruthless, cutthroat business. It is what it is. I respect everybody. But fuck me. Conor versus Chandler is a fucking barn burner. Conor versus Gaethje is a barn burner. I think Conor versus Chandler is a better fight. Gaethje is scary. He'll kick those legs, something mean, dude. I saw that first Dustin fight, and good God. Justin is brutal to the legs, man. Anyway, that's probably enough. I love you guys. Bye-bye-bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye-bye-bye.